In this mini lecture, we will discuss ways to evaluate the central idea of your speech. The central idea is the overwhelming goal, the overriding goal of your speech. Your central idea should be appropriate for the assignment and the audience. It should be written as a complete sentence. It's also written as a statement, not a question. It should use clear, simple, direct language, include the main points of your speech, and focus on only one speech topic. Let's look at a few examples of a specific purpose. For an informative speech, you could say, I want my audience to know how milk is pasteurized. I want my audience to know about the Eiffel Tower, and so on. You'll notice that these are specific purpose examples. These are not examples of a central idea. Your specific purpose will be either to inform, to persuade, or to accentuate a special occasion. In this case, you are going to inform, and it drives the purpose of your speech. Now, once you have developed the specific purpose of your speech, the next step is to develop your central idea. The central idea is a single declarative sentence that summarizes or previews what you will say in your speech. The central idea controls your entire speech. Now, there are different strategies that you can use for developing a central idea, but I recommend that you use a previewing strategy. And with this, you will include the main points of your speech in your central idea. Now, everything that you say in your speech should develop, explain, illustrate, or prove your central idea. If something you say does not do one of those things, then it should not be included in your speech. Now, if you give a speech and your audience wonders what point you were trying to make, you have failed to accomplish your most important task, to communicate your central idea. Think about when you're having a conversation with a friend and they're going on and on about something that's going on in their life or something that happened to them, and by the time they walk away, you're not even really sure what they were talking about. This is what you want to try to avoid when you are developing your speech and your central idea. Now, sometimes you can develop the central idea right after developing the specific purpose of your speech. You may know enough about your topic that you're able to figure out what those main points are going to be, the most important main points that you're going to cover. But sometimes you are going to need to postpone developing your central idea until you have completed at least some research. And this would be important if it's a topic that you're interested in, but you're not really all that familiar with. You would want to do some research first, and that would help lead you to your main points and therefore lead you to your central idea. Now remember, your central idea is your speech boiled down to one sentence. It is what you want your audience to remember when they forget everything else. Your central idea is stated during the speech. It's done in the introduction, and it functions as a preview of your speech. This is particularly important and why it's important to use a previewing strategy for your central idea. It makes it easier then to just insert that central idea right into your introduction as a preview for your speech. And it can also serve in the conclusion as a reinforcement of what you just presented in your speech, a summary, if you will, of what you just talked about. So let's look at a few examples of central ideas. Let's imagine that you love baseball, you've played baseball since you were 5, and you would like to inform your audience about baseball. And through creating an idea bank and narrowing, you decided to look at the skills that are necessary for baseball. Your central idea could be the 4 main skills in baseball are batting, catching, pitching, and running. That central idea focuses you and focuses your audience to know what it is about baseball you will be talking about. You're not going to be talking about Major League Baseball teams. You're not going to be talking about great baseball players. You might mention someone who was a great batter or someone who was a great pitcher, but that's not the overwhelming theme or central idea of your speech. Let's look at the second one. The top selling Hershey bars are the Kit Kat, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and Hershey Bar. That tells the audience very clearly that you, in your speech that is informative, will be talking about Kit Kat, Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and the Hershey Bar. We're not going to be hearing about Twizzlers. We're not going to be hearing about other Hershey products. We're not going to be hearing about Hershey syrup. We're going to be hearing about the Kit Kat, the Reese's Peanut Butter Cup, and the Hershey Bar. And you can certainly read through the rest of those examples of central ideas. Again, this is a single declarative sentence that previews the main points of your speech. Now, in order to evaluate your central idea to see if it's really going to work for you, you need to be able to answer these questions. Is your central idea appropriate for the assignment and the audience? The answer to that question should be yes. Is your central idea a complete sentence? Is it written as a statement, not a question? Does it use clear, simple, direct language? Does it include the main points of your speech? And finally, does it focus on only one speech topic? If you can answer yes to those questions, then you know that you have developed a solid central idea.